public hearing. And this public hearing is to consider a local law amending section 243-14 of the chapter 243, property maintenance of the Webster Town Code. So before I open the public hearing, I think, Josh, we have, well, I know we had workshops on this in fall of 22 to spring of 23. We ended up having a public hearing changing the code for property maintenance in April of 23.
Yes.
We got through our first year cycle and saw that it had some holes in it. And so we're kind of circling back to plug those holes. That's a layman term explanation of this. So we have one gentleman that is signed up to speak at this public hearing, so I'm going to open the public hearing now. And Paul, if you'd like to take the podium.
Thank you, Supervisor Flaherty, town board members, and Josh, and Director of Finance. If I understand this correctly, as you said, you're going to want to plug these holes.
Can you please get closer to the microphone by any chance? It's very hard to hear you.
Want to start over?
No, you don't need to.
If I understand this correctly, what you've done here is you've just redone what's in italics under enforcement. Is that correct?
Is that microphone not working?
It doesn't sound like it's on. It's very hard to hear you. Oh,
What else is
Can you hear me now?
yes. Yes.
What else is
Yeah,
Okay, if I understand this correctly, is that too loud?
it's great.
Okay. If I understand this correctly, it's item E in italics that has been added in along with what was already originally in the document itself. Is that correct?
I understand.
Okay, Josh is nodding yes, so
Yes, it is.
I'm assuming that's correct. And I read it, and I believe that, I think it's going to make a lot easier job and for both Josh and Jim. And I strongly would like to see the town board, add this in. I think it will also make a lot of neighbors a little more happier in the areas where there is a little bit of code enforcement problems. There are not a lot of them, but there is a few in some really nice neighborhoods. So I strongly agree that I believe you should consider it. That's about all I got.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay.
Thank you for your comments.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else in attendance want to comment during the public hearing on this?
I have a question.
Actually,
Can I go
yeah,
ahead?
you probably should.
Oh.
The cameras and the microphones will not pick you up if you're not up there.
Okay.
And sir, what is your name?
My name is Richard Freer. I live at 546 Clun Road. It's my understanding that you're actually considering jail time for people that don't maintain the property. Is that true?
Well,
Or is that...
Charlie, as our town attorney, I mean, what we're trying to do is mimic what a lot of the town code already has within it, that if you have somebody that is a blatant offender and has gone through many different iterations of this, that yes, I guess the judge would have.
I'd be glad to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why we have that in there. We have found, and actually been advised by the court, by the town judges, that they do not have the authority to issue warrants for people who do not show up when they've been cited for violations of the maintenance code. The reason is because there is no authority to basically to fine or imprison the person. In other words, it's not a jailable offense under the criminal procedure law. In order to give the judge that authority, in other words, to bring in people who are not showing up, or not answering the summons, or area, so is going to be an issue. We need to have a law like this in place. To answer your question, is it jailable? Yes. As a practical matter, I don't think anybody's going to be jailed, but they could be. But if we don't have this law in there, there really is no teeth in the maintenance code.
Yeah.
Because basically what you have now is it's typical with a lot of laws. Law-abiding people are going to abide by the law.
Yeah.
You tell them they're in violation, they're going to do what they need to do. But there's always that small group of people that are not going to abide.
Yeah.
And those are the people this is really directed at. So you have the code enforcement people doing their job, doing their work, people making complaints about somebody who's not maintaining the property, where it's dangerous, they don't come into court, the judge can do nothing about it. They can be cited 100 times, the judge has zero authority to bring it in. So that's really what this is about.
I see.
It's about to get them in there. The punishment, that's on the backside if people don't comply. I think once people come before a court, I'm sure the judges will know how to convince them to comply.
Yeah. It just seemed funny to me, locking people up for not cutting their grass when criminals are allowed to go.
I don't know if we can do that for not cutting the grass. I mean, this is for violation of
Maybe
the
jump
building
out.
code, which is
Safe-
actually something
safety
state, is a statewide law.
Oh, I see. Well, yeah, I'm in favor of it, just for the record.
The other thing I wanted to add as I was reading this and we're discussing it, these fines and jailable offenses, that looks quite severe, but I want everyone to know that our code enforcement officer goes out and issues letters of notification, and there's a whole process to that. So we're looking for a response within 30 days, or they get another letter. So there's a lot of carrots being offered to these residents before there's ever a stick that is brandished.
I agree with that. I would, I mean, for approximately every 100 cases that our code enforcement department opens, and I'll be very honest with you, our cases, and Josh, you can corroborate this, that we find out about code enforcement issues usually from people calling in that live near the offender. That's usually how we find out.
There's also an area on our website where you can send a message
Yeah.
to the office and put in your complaint.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna guess for every 100 that are opened, this affects, where someone's going to court, maybe 1 or 2 of them, because like Town Attorney Genesi said, once the person gets their first letter saying this is what, your property code enforcement is, you're not in compliance, most of them just comply. They self-remedy. And that's that. Jim Montgomery, our code enforcement officer, I really like the way he's handled these things, because he will go and he'll see a situation and he'll size it up and say, 30 days, the person will not be able to fix that in 30 days. So maybe fix 10% of it. Very honest, a lot of hoarding situations where there's stuff all over the yard and whatever, and 30 days might not be enough time for the person to clear that all out. So I think Jim has done a wonderful job of really working with these people, and the people that work with him, they eventually get remedied. It's really the ones, like you said, Charlie, that are kind of thumbing their nose at us and saying, you know what? If I don't go to court right now, the law has no teeth. So I'll just not go to court and it'll get dismissed because there is no teeth. And the judges are very frustrated by that. So
Sounds good.
that's what we're doing. Since nobody else is going to take the podium, I'm going to close the public hearing. And any questions, comments, conversation amongst the board?
I've already added my comments.
I was just asking questions, and I don't know the law. I was just asking Charlie about the law before the meeting started. But my question is, can we not do the work for I guess in a hoarding situation, you probably couldn't go do the work. For property maintenance, you can do the work, I'm talking myself into I'm talking myself right now right into where we are, but if it is just property maintenance, you can do the work and send them a bill. If they don't pay the bill, put it on the tax bill.
Yes, and
But
Jennifer,
that's for mowing the lawn,
Correct.
not for a hoarding situation then.
and there, we could get very granular on a lot of different things. Just this week, and I think Tuesday, I got a complaint to me, because a lot of the complaints that come to code enforcement, they also will, you know, shoot it, scattergun it across the town government, and the complaint came to me about, they felt as though their neighbor's house across the street, the lawn, the this, the that, was a mess. So I made sure that Jim knew about it. Jim did know about it. I was out and about the next morning. I said, I'm gonna drive by it and see it myself. And we had set up and gone and had a firm go and cut the grass, and that bill will be given to the homeowner. So we have the authority to do that.
Okay.
I would imagine if you have a bunch of, it's not real property, I guess it's chattel, I'll call it, Charlie. We can't go onto somebody's property and start saying, we're going to remove this broken snowplow. Who's to say that that's broken? We can't touch that stuff. So,
I
Josh,
think
anything
as soon
to add
as
in
I
there? I
started
mean,
talking, I was answering.
We're
my
very
question.
limited by law into
Yeah.
going on private property and doing work. Very limited, which is probably not a bad thing. To do work, that benefits somebody else's property.
Yeah, that's a slightly different situation, and again, as soon as you talked about hoarding and I started asking my question, and like,
Well, and there's a lot of discretion that has to be used, and Charlie, you say the law is that, I think that particular house I just described,
yeah,
that house has been vacant for a couple of years. I think it's a bank foreclosure, so the bank's gonna get that. If the bank is not maintaining that property while they're going through, what is usually a 2 or 3 year foreclosure process, then the town's gonna take that job on and put it on the tax bill, put it toward the bank. I don't know if we would do the same thing if there's occupants, the owners in the house. I don't know, Jim's not here to speak on that, you got Josh.
We have done that for occupied properties in terms of the lawn mowing, when we don't get any response.
When we don't get any response.
Right.
Village of Webster does the same thing.
But I'm assuming that they would get a notice that that's going to be done.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Anything down here, Jim or John?
I'm fine.
I guess this falls under, I'm the liaison to your department, right? So I'm gonna make a motion to enact a local law amending section 243-14 of chapter 243, property maintenance of the Webster Town Code.
Second,
Supervisor Flaherty,
Aye?
Councilwoman Cataldi,
aye.
Councilman Cahill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Witt, Councilwoman Ray.
I